Hello everyone. I hope you can hear and see me today. Oh, not see me. Hang on. Where's that button? Hello. Oh, yes, my hair's very messy today. Okay. We are going to do some more learning about Venice today. Let me just. What's that? Okay. So, dark history of Venice. How do you spell Venice again? Okay. The black. That sounds interesting. House. Okay. Okay. Jet. Black columns. Hmm. Okay. You might be surprised to learn just how intertwined the history of Venice and the Black Death are. In fact, Venice was one of the cities most deeply destroyed. Hi Mandy, how are you? Most deeply destroyed by the series of bubonic plagues that made their way through Europe. The many islands on the outskirts of the city, the long beaked masks, and even the word quarantine come from this time in history. Oh, that would be a lovely place. Oh, that is a lovely photo. You can find the scars of Venice past all over the city. You just have to know where to look. I'm good. Just starting to go live and learn a bit more about Venice. Might as well. There's jack shit on TV, so that lovely light again. Okay. But Venice suffered many attacks of plague throughout its history, and we can still see the imprints it left on the city. Overall, the history of Venice is closely tied to the history of the plague, and the city's experiences with the disease shaped its society, culture, and public health practices for centuries to come. Let's take a deeper look at how the Black Death affected Venice. Hello, Nick. How are you? Venice's plague history. Venice was affected by various outbreaks of both the bubonic and pneumonic plague several times throughout its history. The most famous and deadly outbreak was the Black Death, which struck the city in 1348. The Black Death of 1348 was a devastating outbreak of the bubonic plague that hit all of Europe. In Venice, it is estimated that as much as 50% of the city's population may have died. Damn, that is an awful fucking lot. Damn, that is a lot. Thank you, Nick. Jack, what are you up to? Are you wanting out? This is from a friend from school that they why did you go to minerals will be dead soon. Wait. Adam, I should have been on earlier, but I forgot. So okay. Now here, of course, the exact number of deaths is difficult to determine, as we don't have reliable demographic records from that time. However, contemporary research suggests that the city's population may have been as high as 100,000 before the outbreak, and tens of thousands died due to the plague. Venice later experienced several more plague outbreaks, most notably in 1575 and 1577, and 1630 to 1631. The plague also returned to Venice in the 17th and 18th centuries, though these outbreaks were less severe than those that had occurred earlier. What? What was I'm going backwards? Wow. Okay, can you not hear the talking in the background there? Just asking. Adam, happy birthday for your wife for tomorrow. And I hope she has a good one. All these outbreaks resulted in significant loss of life and economic disruption. The plague contributed to the decline of Venice's power and influence, and remains a significant part of the city's history to this day. Wow. Okay, good to know. I will be back in a sec. Oh, let me just read my Okay, I'm back. Oh my god, I hate drunk people. Why was Venice so affected by the Black Death? Venice was a major commercial hub and trading center in Europe. It was essentially where trade with the East met Europe. The extensive trade networks made the city vulnerable to the spread of diseases. Every day, boats would come up the Adriatic from all over the world, and anywhere there is a major exchange of people, there is an exchange of germs. At the same time, this period of history was the most was not the most hygienic anywhere in Europe, which also was a factor. This caused Venice to be one of the European cities hit worst by the Black Death. Yeah. Yes, definitely blame Jeff for everything, Nick. Definitely blame Jeff. France's response to the crisis. In response to the outbreak, Venetian authorities implemented strict quarantine measures which involved isolating infected individuals and their families to designated areas. In fact, during later outbreaks, they even identified islands known as Lazaretto, Laziatio, where they would send individuals for quarantine. They also imposed strict health regulations such as mandatory bathing and burning of contaminated clothing to try to prevent the spread of the disease. Despite these measures, the Black Death continued to take many citizens of Venice. During this time, the Venetian Republic also began implementing social reforms such as wage controls and price regulations to help the city's poorest residents, who were the most affected by the outbreaks. The government also took steps to improve public health by building public bathhouses and new hospitals, some of which are still in use today. Yep, I've heard of that as well, and I can believe that. I'll take that into account. Thank you. That is a beautiful building. Symbols of the Black Death in Venice. Venice plague history is still visible in many ways throughout the city. Here are just a few symbols of this dark history that you can see today. Mm. The Black Death was supposedly caused by rats, however there is strong chance it was caused by bad hygiene. Imagine having sex with someone who hadn't washed their eyes. Oh my, that would... Oh, bloody hell. That's now in my head. Oh my. Okay, let me get that out of my head. Okay, quarantine islands. During the Black Death, Venice had strict quarantine measures, and people suspected of being infected were sent to designated islands in the Venetian lagoon. Two of these islands, Lazaretto and Lazaretto Vencino and Lazaretto Nuovo, still exist and are open to visitors. What? Wow. I can go visit that next week. I can go to one of these plague islands next week. No, I haven't, Mandy. I haven't activated that. Thank you. I'm going to try and sort that out once I'm no longer live. Quarantine Islands. Ooh. I think I'm going to have to go there when I go next week. Woohoo! Okay. Hey, columns. Following the Black Death, many cities in Europe, including Venice, erected columns as a symbol to give thanks for passing of the outbreak. You can see them in Piazza San Marco and in front of the church of Santa Maria della Salute. Oh, plague doctor masks. I love these masks just because they are fascinating. And the stitching to make it, yeah. But still, why do they have such long beaks? Okay. Venice's plague masks are a distinctive part of the city's history and culture. Yes, if you hear the beeping, that's my phone. I've got that. Oh, shit. Sitting near me somewhere. Also known as doctor masks. The masks were worn by physicians during outbreaks of the plague, particularly in the later outbreaks of the 17th and 18th centuries. Also known as the doctor masks or beak mask, this face covering features a bird-like beak made of leather or metal, which covered the wearer's nose and mouth. The beak was filled with aromatic herbs like mint, clove, and rose petals. These were believed to protect the wearer from the terrible smell of sickness and death that were thought to spread disease. Plague masks also had glass eyepieces, which allowed the wearer to see while protecting themselves from infection. To further protect the doctors, in addition to these masks, they would wear long flowing robes and gloves to cover as much skin as they could. That's okay, Mandy. Okay. We still aren't entirely sure how effective these masks were at protecting against the spread of disease. They did become an important symbol of Venice's response to the Black Death. Though they may have been a symbol of something more serious, today they are a popular costume during carnival festivities. And those glass eyepieces for the eyes, they are so difficult to see through. Especially if you wear glasses. These bits here, they bits are so hard to see through because the glass is like either tinted or it is cloudy. And then with you breathing, the fog Books and more, obviously. Okay, public health institutions. Venice experience with the plague led to the establishment of several public health buildings, including hospitals and quarantine stations. One of the most famous is the Ospedalica Sibilla, which was built in the 18th century outbreak and still is in operation today. Here you can also visit the city's Museum of Anatomy and Pharmacy. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Okay, I, I need to go there. Oh, art and literature. The Black Death also left its mark on Venetian art and literature. It is a frequent theme in Venetian literature, including works by Giovanni Boccaccini and Carla Goldini. I'm butchering some of these names or words. Okay, overall, Venice's plague history is an important part of the city's cultural heritage, and it continues to be remembered in many ways. Quarantine. And Venice's imprint on world epidemics. Another way the Black Death left its imprint on Venice and the world was how the world was the word we now use. We now have heard often in the last few years, quarantine. Quarantine originates in 14th century Venice during a period of repeat outbreaks of the bubonic plague. The word comes from the Italian word quartigamma, which means 40 days. At that time, the Venetian Republic implemented a policy of requiring all ships arriving in the city to anchor offshore for 40 days before allowing passengers and crew to come into the city. I think Jack is trying to get in. And this period of isolation was intended to prevent the spread of plague from foreign ports and was known as quarantina in Italian. This practice proved effective in controlling the spread of disease and was soon adopted around Europe. Over the time, the period of isolation has changed for every situation, but the term quarantine remained. Definitely useful. Those masks if you're having a bad hair day. That's how I am at the moment. Okay, I've done this bit. That's interesting. Most eerie locations of Venice. Oh. Just behave. Okay. Venice, Italy is famed for its dizzying canals, bustling waterfront cafes, and many picturesque palazzi that all carry an undeniable lean as the city slowly sinks. That small city charm is evident today, but the vibrant touristic culture did not always exist. Venice's dark history houses everything from secret Nazi bases to plagued insane asylums and public executions. And though these horrors are just whispers now, their physical locations remain. Come explore the islands and its surrounding lagoon if you dare. I think I've done some of these ones already. Partially. I'm still in the middle of finishing the rest of that itinerary. That's another reason why I'm doing this, because one place I was planning on going, I changed my mind because I was thinking, why was I going there? I don't drink, so I don't know why I'm planning on going looking at wine and going on wine tours. Might go on one though. Okay. Isole di San Legadio di Amani. Well, Venice is a northeastern seaport made up of over 100 small islands, with many of them linked together by bridges. The island of St. Lazarus, history dates back to 810, but it was not put into use until 1182, where it would serve as an isolation dumping ground for the poorest of the sick and dying. As the name St. Lazarus suggests, the island became saturated with leprosy and was deemed a perilous leper colony, with disease, easy transmission and symptoms ranging from large and painful skin lesions to nerve damage and uncontrollable muscle weakness. One can imagine the suffering that occurred on this desolate island with ill-equipped hospital access and medical care. Yes, I'm staying in a hotel with breakfast included. Oh yeah, that's our island. I did not think of that. Okay, once leprosy began to subside in the mid-16th century, the island was ultimately abandoned. San Lorenzo has since gone through many renovations and additions over the last few centuries, and is now the home of a large monastic complex. Tourists are welcome, and if you choose to go, perhaps you will view this peaceful monastery with a far darker and more curious lens than the majority of its visitors. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm going to go to a monastery. Oh, I did that now. Go then. I keep misplacing this notepad. Okay, I'm just going to take a picture on my phone now. Okay. I will definitely do that, Mandy. Definitely. Look at that mask. Oh, cat mask. Oh, cat mask. Beats mask. That is a lovely mask, but if I was stone, that would freak me out. As one of the oldest festivals in the world, the Carnival di Venezia, famous masquerade costumes and masks have become solidified within Venetian culture. First record of the carnival dates back to 1268, where locals and visitors alike would spend several months of the year in masked skies. Definitely Bossk masks. I think I've done some of these in last week. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, an emu costume, definitely. Oh, ow. Definitely. Oh, the Australians. I wonder if they would go to war with them as well. Since they've gone to the war with the emus already. But why would you go to war with emus? Okay. Where was I again? Uh, However, a festival that once was used to celebrate the days leading up to Shrove Tuesday would spiral into masked individuals taking advantage of their concealed identity to commit theft, prostitution, and far more violent crimes. Oh, definitely. We would definitely have to do that. That's that ice one. Okay. As the 17th and 18th centuries approached Europe, so did the infamous Black Plague. With millions dying and out of desperation for a cure, the plague doctor was born. Severely uneducated and practicing medicine based on myth and legend, these doctors dressed in outlandish costumes. They're not outlandish costumes, they're just fluffy outfits. Hmm. Costumes and masks in an effort to prevent themselves from succumbing to the sickness. Most notably, an angular and eerily shaped beak-like facade was the mask of choice. Stuffing the beak with ambergris, lavender, mint, and camphor was believed to prevent disease transmission through many plague doctors were killed by the very thing they believed they could cure. As time passed, the beak-like mask was dissociated with the plague doctor, and today, ironically, is the most popular mask worn during the carnival. The columns of Saint Margaret and Santo Sortado. Yeah, I think it is. Oh. Where was it? 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 Ambergris is a solid, waxy substance originating in the intestines of sperm whales. In Eastern culture, ambergris is used for medicines, potions, and as a spice. In the West, it was used to stabilize the scent of fine perfumes. Hmm. Yes, I wouldn't want that up my nose either. In Venice city centre sits Plaza St. Mark's Square, one of the leading tourist attractions. Every visitor to Venice has surely made a point to stroll through the impressive facade with its famed shops, restaurants and buildings. Perched on the edge of the plaza within steps of the lagoon stand two massive and unsuspecting columns. Each bear is symbol of two prominent Venetian saints, Saint Mark the Evangelist as a winged lion and Saint Theodore, the city's first protector. Why and how these columns arrived in Venice is still shrouded in mystery, but experts estimate they were erected around 1127 by Nicholas Ferrati. Ferrati? Okay. The government granted him gambling rights to occur between the two columns, which at the time was illegal. But his death later marked the end of the gambling-free zone between the columns. In the 18th century, they became the site for very public executions. In fact, many superstitious Venetians still avoid walking between the columns. Would you? Or would I walk through? Would I walk between those columns? Would I walk between those columns? Yeah, I would. I would. Flooded crypt of Saint Stachania, a church condemned by the Doge Venetian royalty, assassinations dating back to the 9th century. The Church of San Savio is a lesser-known spectral treasure of Venice. The interior hosts a dazzling mix of Gothic and Renaissance art and architecture as the church was expanded, burned and rebuilt over the centuries. What lies beneath the crypt, however, is the most ornate of all. Yep. Aliens. Yep. And Jeff talks to the aliens. Yep. Jeff talks to the aliens, I would say. Step below the foundation and you are met with a muddled and flooded crypt that holds the tombs of 8 early doges. I read that as dogs, even though there's an E there. Submerged by the water of Venice's lagoon, the crypt appears to double in size from its reflection. Some call it darkly romantic and some call it ghostly. Either way, this stunning sight is not to be missed. Sounds really insane asylum. Oh. Jeff is in the gang with the alien. 100% Mandy. And Nick. Definitely. Francis Island of the Madhouse, a psychiatric hospital for the mentally ill from 1797 until its closure in 1978. Medical treatment for the mentally ill was essentially non-existent up through the 18th century, with many individuals imprisoned in these madhouses left to waste away in isolation. It wasn't until 2006 that the Museum of Madness was created to preserve the history of this hospital, including its progression of mental illness care through the centuries. One can visit the museum to see exhibits that include actual chains, handcuffs, and straitjackets, among many other items used as restraints. Ooh. You're taking a picture for a sec. Oh, it's Empire of Venice. During an archaeological dig on the island of Lazaretto Nuovo in the Venetian lagoon, a female vampire skull was unearthed among a mass grave site of plague victims. A large angled brick had been rammed into her mouth, preventing her jaw from closing. This technique, a bit disturbing, was commonly done to suspected vampires in Europe during the Middle Ages. The fear of vampires during this time was widespread, and many believed the corpses could chew through their burial cloths to spread infection to the living. As corpses rotted, releasing blood and fluids, the burial cloth draped over the face would moisten, tear, and sink into the mouth, making it appear as if this individual had chewed through. The practice of wedging large items into the mouth, therefore preventing the sphere from coming to life, literally. Mm. Yeah, I think there was. I think there was, Mandy. Okay, the secret Nazi base was Giannio in Algarve. Lesser-known island essentially sits in Venice's lagoon, often overlooked by both visitors and locals. San Diego in Algarve began as a Benedictine colony in the 11th century, but saw much change through the years that ultimately left the island abandoned in 1717 after a massive fire. By the 1800s, a political prison had been established and was used to house Venetians who voiced strong counter-militant attitudes. The island was gradually militarized, and by World War One, bunkers had been constructed, but quickly abandoned. However, while the rest of the globe was consumed with the coming of the Second World War, the small island of San Diego in Algarve was in fact not abandoned after all. The seemingly unsuspecting island would serve as a secret Nazi base to train its divers how to plant German mines under the water and under the shadow of night. One can marvel at the crumbling facade of, of San Diego in Algarve with its natural decay, but perhaps be cautious of the deep waters lurking around its shore. Okay, I will. The rail's first get. I've just read. I think I've read this whole article again. I think I read this last week. Okay, never mind. The rail's first ghetto was established in Venice 1516, far below World War II, where many believe the expulsion of Jews began. The term ghetto is actually derived from the Venetian dialect of ghetto, the name of an old copper foundry in the area where Jews would later reside. Though Venice was one of the few areas that tolerated Jews, it by no means treated them with respect. The designated area of the ghetto was walled off from the rest of the city and locked each night at sunset. Outside of the walled ghetto, Jews were forced to wear special coloured hats or badges to identify them as separate from the rest of the Venetian community. Jews were also succumbed to only certain lowly professions, thereby further restricting the few rights they did have. Wandering through the ghetto, Venezuela today can bring a sense of heavy sadness, but visiting the historical monuments and museums there provide an opportunity to better understand the truth and triumph of its history. Palazzo Dario, the Dario Palace, or Ca Dario, as it is known in Venice, has been deemed a palace that kills. Constructed in the late 15th century by Giovanni Dario, which once was considered a beautiful blend of Renaissance and Gothic architecture, has now been overshadowed by many untimely deaths of those associated with Caldaria. What the fuck? When Giovanni died, the estate was given to his daughter, who would later commit suicide along with her husband's death by stabbing. Nearly all future owners would suffer violent murders, financial ruin, and numerous suicides through the early 2000s. Caldaria is now owned by an unnamed American buyer who is perhaps risking and testing their unlucky fate in the hands of this evil facade. The Palazzo is currently closed to tourists and likely for good reason. Would you visit this superstitious estate? Oh, okay. Okay, darling. Okay. Okay, Venice must do. Well, might as well. Yeah. It's on your sense. Da, 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 da. I'm looking through and I'm not telling anyone what I'm actually doing. Glass factory? Mm. Oh, I'm still here, don't worry. That I can understand because I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Let's look at all these pictures. Yeah, yeah. You have to have really good lung power or lung air capacity to do that, especially because damn, I could not do that. Okay, let's explore all here. City tour. I will more than likely go on the glass factory one, because that just sounds interesting. Oh, kind of. Where's the sunrise? Now, I would not go running at sunrise. I would not go running unless I'm being chased. Or if I need to run for the bus. Oh, there's 4 concerts. Oh, okay. Reserve now for later. Okay, experience the iconic competition from a live orchestra. Fully immerse yourself in the experience and transports you back in time. Enjoy a true experience with period accurate costumes. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I think I'll be doing that. I need my phone. Create your glass artwork private lesson with yeah. Street food tour with local garden tastings. Show more. Thank you. In-depth glass back tour. Venice food tasting. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. I think so. I think it is. Museums. Ooh. Yeah, I do. Galleries. Glass museum. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's just there. I did, but I can't remember what they are. Oh, I better redo that again. Because I can't not to remember because I've got to jot them down. That is why I'm taking pictures on my phone. Special events in Venice. This week, Albert. No, it's next week I need. Events next 7 days. Events next week. Events and activities. Bitte. Ah! Nope. Their business from look to it. Let's see if I go further down. Okay. Okay. Grand Canal. Okay. Monday the 28th of October. Jewish Ghetto Walking Tour and Siena Tour options. Shared gondola ride across the Grand Canal. Dunes Lake Missouri and Contina day trip. Enjoy trip from Venice to the modern Detroit town of Cortina. Discover the beauty of Lake Mercer and Lake Antonio.
Right, Mr. Welch,
yes,
on my end.
I will, Mom.
Over.
That's my mom calling her cat now.
Morgan, on.
I'm not there on the 28th. Okay. So gondola ride, food tasting, Prosecco Hills, and wine tasting tour, street food tour with local guide and tastings, Marco Polo Airport to and from Nashville train station, sightseeing tour, mountain day trip, lagoon Catamaran cruise, music and drinks. Okay, now hi Mick, how are you? Okay, I'm gonna look back at the chat for a sec while I make some rollies. I'd be surprised if that wasn't all year round. Okay. You okay, Mick? Other than being high as a kite. Yes, they really do want people to go to a glass factory. So I will oblige them and I will go to one. What that's like. Maybe it's also because of the time of year they're like the shit they do. Come here. Oh, I made there's an ice cream tour. I'm gonna have to find that out because there has to be. Okay, more glass, wine tasting, sweet food. I'm gonna have. Mm, I'm gonna see. Okay. That just make these bodies for the junk. My junk club. Okay. Yeah. What have I done? Oh, do not go for some buttons. Press buttons. I cord buttons. It is Andy. I'm not there yet, so I'll just call it ice cream still. I don't know. Let's click on one of these glass ones. Um, a 4-hour city walking tour. Sunset kayak. And last time I was in a kayak, I fucked up my foot. I will not go in another kayak. Yeah, more than likely. Oh, um, since they keep going on about glass, I just felt Venetian. Oh, Venice. Oh, wow. Enjoy, 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 Mick. And you just keep resting. That just reminds me of the freights. Yeah, stick of rock. Sweet. Yeah. What else I'm thinking? Some of these are looking like sweets. They're pretty. Yeah, I keep pressing the wrong button. Okay. Okay, we'll have a proper look at this glass factory tour that they keep trying to get me to go on. Experience the lagoon islands of Buona, Tortellina, and Murano by boat. See how intricate glass ornaments are made at a glass factory in Murano. Admire the emerald Venetian lagoon from the on-board panoramic terrace. Discover the history and culture of the islands with help from your guide. Enjoy free time on the islands to explore, shop, and savor local cuisine. Let's just hope I don't get lost because my sense of direction. Okay. Description: sail across the emerald waters of the Venice lagoon on this full-day trip to the islands of Murano, and Tortellina. Choose from an option with a shuttle transfer from Saint Lucia train station to the departure point in San Maranico, or pick a tour option that meets in Saint Mano. Hop aboard a comfortable water taxi in the morning. Glide through the lagoon of Venice, admire views from the boat's panoramic terrace, and listen to commentary from your guide. Upon arrival at your first stop, Marina, find out why the island is renowned for its glasswork with a visit to the local glass factory. Watch a skilled artisan during a glass processing demonstration. Afterwards, have approximately an hour on the island for shopping in one of the many glass shops. Next, head to Burano, which is known for its lacework and brightly coloured houses. Follow your guide to the heart of the town and have 2 hours of free time to purchase a nice lunch, typical Venetian aperitifs, get an ice cream at one of the many cafes, and venture from Buona to Torcello, birth centre of civilization, longer, in the estuary. Spend an hour of free time where you can. Go to see the Venetian Byzantine mosaics at the Basilica di San Maria Esterna. Return to San Marco in the early evening. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yes, I think I'll definitely have to stick with the guide, especially maths. Definitely. I will be back instead of just dropping these rollers off. Okay, what else? Hmm? Oh, might as well. Since somehow got into property. No, I already looked at hotels. I would booked my hotel, so I don't know why I'm looking at hotels or how I got onto hotels. Okay, don't need hotels. Just Venice, Italy, calendar tickets. I spent 7 days in Venice. Oh, that's what this says. Day 1, explore the heart of Venice. Day 2, the islands of art and culture. Day 5, the inevitable gondola ride. I'm gonna try and do that. I think I'll do that on the 30th. Venice is one of the most iconic cities in the world. We would call it unique. The canals, the churches, St. Mark's Square, the atmosphere you can breathe. Just da 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 da. I'm beating some of this bit when I'm not on camera. Okay, many lovers, not only Venice, the city of the Doges, built around 421 AD. Today, together with Rome, is a World Heritage Site, also known as the Senesimia Republic of Venice. The city, located in the northeast of Italy, is built in an archipelago of 118 islands overlooking the lagoon. Its history is rich and fascinating, full of culture and art. Oh, I'm going to have to really make sure I do not fall over. Because of how clumsy I am, I have to make sure I do not fall over and end up in that canal. Because I can see that happening for some reason. Because it won't happen. It will not happen. I will very happily walk along and I'll be fine. I won't fall over. Well, I'm going to head off. Oh. I'm going to head off and You all have a lovely night, and I will chat to you all again soon. Take care. And spoon.